afternoon, Ms. Miriam, or Mrs. Miriam, as the case may be. Good afternoon, Mr. Luqman. So you are audible, I can hear you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. So let's give like few minutes for other participants to join.
Okay, sir.
Please, if you'll not be talking, kindly mute your microphone, please.
Okay.
We should have remembered.
So once again, good afternoon, everyone. I think kindly mute your mic if you're not speaking, please. Richard, please, you do a lot of work in muting people that would like to obstruct this session, please.
Yeah, I'm on it.
Richard, are you there?
Yeah, I'm on it.
Okay, good. So due to out of time, I think we'll have to start. Good afternoon, the scholars of General Ibrahim Attahiru Foundation, my respected team members, staff of the foundation, our erudite keynote speaker, Mr. Kolawole Samuel, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of the management and staff of General Ibrahim Attahiru Foundation, I warmly welcome you to today's webinar titled Resilience and Mental Well-Being, Strategies for Handling Academic Pressure and Personal Growth. I am Captain Luqman Gidado, the Program Coordinator of the Foundation, and I shall be moderating the webinar event. This session is organized especially for our valued scholarship beneficiaries and aims to provide them with tools to thrive personally and academically, especially under pressure. So without much ado, I'll quickly give us a rundown of the program of events for today's webinar. First and foremost is the welcome and opening remarks, which will be undertaken by me. The next is the introduction of the guest speaker, followed by presentation by the keynote speaker, followed by question and answer session. Next is a vote of thanks by a beneficiary of General Ibrahim Attahiru Foundation, and finally, closing remarks. So I will move straight to the what prompted this webinar. General Ibrahim Attahiru Foundation is an independent and non-partisan foundation named after the late Chief of Army Staff of Nigeria, Lieutenant General Ibrahim Attahiru, who passed away on the 21st of May 2021 while on active duty in the service of Nigeria. The foundation is set up to ensure the perpetuation of his ideals and qualities. He embodied both as a military service leader and in his personal life as a man of integrity, generosity, kindness of heart, as expressed in the various ways he helped fellow Nigerians. The General Ibrahim Attahiru Foundation is indeed committed to human development, youth empowerment, and educational advancement in Nigeria. This webinar is part of our continued effort to build capacity and support well-being of all and sundry. With these brief welcome and opening remarks, I'll quickly go straight to the introduction of the keynote speaker for today's webinar. I have the honor to introduce Mr. Samuel Kolawole as our guest speaker today. Mr. Samuel Kolawole is a passionate and experienced counseling professional with a remarkable track record in career guidance, school counseling, special needs education, and PTSD management, post-traumatic stress disorder management. With a Bachelor of Education in Counseling Education from the University of Ilorin and certifications in stress management and PTSD therapy, Mr. Samuel brings a wealth of knowledge and empathy to every engagement. He is a registered member of both the Counseling Association of Nigeria and the Teachers Registration Council of Nigeria. His career spans roles as institution counselor at Crestfield College of Education, special needs consultant at U-Centered Consulting, and currently a PTSD therapist and out-of-school children advocate with the Initiatives for Social Inclusion and Grassroot Literacy, a foundation based in Abuja. Mr. Samuel is known for his deep commitment to youth empowerment and psychosocial development. He offers a unique blend of active listening, ethical counseling, and behavioral intervention skills. His presentation today promises to be deeply insightful, inspirational, and a call to action for all who seek to make a difference. So without further ado, join me in welcoming our keynote speaker to go ahead from this stage. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Luqman. Good morning, everyone. Please confirm that you can hear my voice loud and clear.
You are very audible. You are welcome.
Thank you very much. We can hear you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for this singular honor to want to speak with amiable beneficiaries of General Ibrahim Attahiru Foundation. I find it extremely honorable to be part of, to be a keynote speaker, let me put it that way, to be a keynote speaker at this webinar. So I will just, for the sake of me, myself, and I, so my name is Samuel once again, like the program manager has just introduced me. You see, Mr. Luqman, when you were introducing me, you added a lot of packaging, you know. When I get packaged like that, my head usually swell up, and I want to appreciate that. But instead of you packaging me with fancy, but you should have just used pure water, so that the director of General Ibrahim Attahiru Foundation will know that I also need help, and I can be a beneficiary of maybe one of the empowerment and all of that. So thank you so much for that singular honor. I want to appreciate everyone. And particularly, I want to appreciate the directors of this foundation for this initiative. It's at least at a time like this when we have a lot of issues out there, issues with our young people in the society, especially as far as Nigeria is concerned now. You hear about a lot of a lot of issues where you have what's it called now? A lot of issues where you have people committing suicide, where depression is the order of the day, where young people don't want to even have or to face challenges at all. They see challenges as something that seems to be the end of the world. So at the time like this, when we have this kind of foundation, we appreciate it, and I'm usually also an advocate at any point in time. So my name is Samuel Kolawole. I currently work with Initiative for Social Inclusion and Grassroot Literacy. It is a non-profit organization that is committed to bridging educational and social gaps for marginalized individuals and communities, most especially children who are out of school. So that's what I do currently. So Mr. Luqman has stated my previous experiences. So I want to appreciate that. Let's just go directly. Mr. Luqman, will you be presenting from your end, please?
You mean we should share the screen, right?
Yes, you can. Thank you.
That will be done right away. Participant, please kindly mute your mic if you are not speaking. Please mute your mic. Mute your mic, please.
We just go straight because of our time. We just pick the points in today's presentation, and then we also give room for reactions, for questions. So the theme of today's webinar is resilience and mental wellness. We're going to be looking at the strategies for handling academic pressure and personal growth. Of course, just few introduction of this is that we know that academic journey is not an easy journey. And then for those of us who have passed through one institution or the other, we will understand that it is more tasking and more demanding for you to want to have maybe a BSc or MSc or PhD. It is usually demanding. It comes with a lot of pressure. It comes with a lot of issues. It comes with diverse things that could actually make you lose focus. It comes to it comes with peer pressure. It comes with non-funding, not having help, not having finances, and all of that. So all these things contribute to the reason why it will be so much stressful to want to go through an academic journey. So we want to look at how do we handle this pressure, all this academic pressure for our personal growth. Slide 2, please. Okay, so straight up, why do we need this webinar? Why do you think this webinar matters? So please, I want to make this presentation as interactive as possible. I don't know, I can't see names, but I can be calling out if I see to ask questions. Sorry, I am a teacher, a born and trained teacher at that. So I would want interaction within my students, so to say. So apologies if I have to take you as my students for today. So why do we think this webinar matter? It's right there on our screen. We consider rising academic demands. All right, we consider rising academic demands. We also consider emotional and psychological challenges that students face in the world of academics today, in the journey of academics at whatever level, even at primary school, at secondary school, not to now talk of institution level. You want to agree with me that there are a lot of challenges that these students face. Somebody will now ask me, a pupil in primary school or a student in secondary school, what challenge would they possibly face? When we're talking of academic challenge, of course, they face challenges. And one of the challenges that I may want to mention for primary school students these days, so it's cut across secondary school, is most of it is bullying. We are really battling bullying so seriously. And before you know it, these children would probably not want to go to school. And when you hurt them, they might probably not be able to speak up, but this thing is affecting them emotionally and psychologically. So that is why we also advocate for them. But that is not where I'm going. So for that's for the primary. For the secondary school, a lot of things has come to play that has posed challenges to all these students. So it is what we see on our journey on a daily basis and what we attempt to, let me put it this way, on a daily basis. So we will also look at the importance of mental wellness for success. So these are the reasons why this webinar matters. Are the reason why this webinar matters. So the objectives of this presentation. So at the end of this presentation, right, we will be able to define resilience and mental well-being. Apologies if I'm using mental health. I presented somewhere last week and it was mental health that I presented. So it's coming to me. I'm very sorry. Apologies for that. So we'll be at the end of this webinar, we will learn. We will be able to define resilience and mental wellness. We will also be able to discuss sources of academic pressure. After that, we will share practical strategies for resilience. So that's why I said we are going to make it as interactive as possible. So we will share practical strategies for resilience. We will also be able to understand how to foster personal growth while managing challenges. I'm sorry I have to rush up because of my time. And at the end of this webinar, we will also have the chance to voice out our minds and our challenges. And if time permits, we will be able to attend to some of it. If we cannot attend to some of it, then I will relate with the program manager. Maybe we would look for a way of doing that. Thank you. The next slide, please. Okay, let us see what we mean by resilience. Let's see what we mean by resilience. I don't know, Mohammed, you want to tell me your idea of resilience, please, in just 1 minute. What's your idea of resilience, please, Mohammed? Okay, I will appreciate anyone if you can just share your idea of resilience with me before we proceed. What is resilience? Okay, so because of our please go ahead.
Okay, resilience to me is self-imposed or decided notion.
Can you introduce yourself?
Okay, Oluwanifemi Olapade.
Can you introduce yourself? Who you are? Please let's get to know you.
Okay, I'm Oluwanifemi Olapade.
Go ahead.
Okay, so resilience is a self-made decision to not allow the environmental factors to weigh down or reduce or dampen the morale of the person concerning their success. It's somehow similar to persistence, but it's just self-decided.
All right. Thank you so much, everyone. I quite appreciate that. So that is it. You have probably done justice to that question. Understanding resilience. Of course, I have just put 1 or 2 points here that the resilience is the ability to bounce back from adversity. These days we face a lot of challenges and a lot of things that has come to play that will weigh you down or discourage you from achieving a particular goal. So when you fail or when you have challenges or when you face problem, I wouldn't want to use the word problem here. As counselors, we use concern. So when you have concern or you have challenges or you face difficulties in your journey to achieve a particular goal. So when all these challenges come to play, what do you do? Do you back out or do you persist? Do you pick yourself up from where you are and continue in the journey regardless, no matter what comes, to achieve your aim. So the ability to bounce back from all those challenges that has weighed you down, ability to bounce back from all those adversity is what make you resilient. So simple definition of resilience is the ability to bounce back from adversity. I can also tell you that resilience is the ability to adapt, to recover, and to bounce back from stress, from challenges or failure. So we can also say that it involves staying mentally strong. That's the note now. It involves staying mentally strong and emotionally balanced during difficult times. And then in a situation like this, you continue to function effectively despite setbacks. So let me just, in a way, repeat that. It is the ability to bounce back from adversity. It is your level of adaptability and emotional strength. So it is the ability for you to adapt, ability for you to bounce back from adversity, and ability for you to recover from stress, from challenges, or from failure. So the challenge that we have these days is that once people fail, they believe that that's the end of the world. Especially with our Gen Z's age group of nowadays. In our days, when we fail, we pick ourselves up again. And of course, people like Mr. Luqman and some other people who have studied, in year past, let me say 10 years back now, we understand that in our own days, when you fail, you pick yourself up. We believe that we are lagging behind in some particular point at a place. So we want to look at that, check back, modify that point, and keep ourselves going towards achieving our goal. But these days, we've had a couple of age group people who sees failure as the end of the world. Once they try to take a step and they fail, they believe that that thing is not meant for them. They want to move to another thing entirely. So by the time they now jump from pillar to pole, they discover that there's nothing that will come out of it at all. So the ability for you to be able to adapt and to be emotionally strong enough is what we call resilience. So let us quickly look at the key characteristics of resilient individuals. So when we say characteristics of resilient individual, we can say characteristics of resilience. So it's the same thing as characteristics of resilience. So for the purpose of this presentation, we have the key characteristics of resilient individuals. So if you want to be a resilient individual, what characteristics must you have? What are the characteristics that people will see in you that will make them, look at you as somebody that is resilient and that will not back out? First thing first is your emotional regulation. So a lot of people nowadays, they don't have this strength to regulate their emotions. Anything that comes to them gets to them. Anything that faces them collapses them. Anything that comes through them clear them off the road. So I see it as a situation where you allow your emotion overwhelm you. So one of the key characteristics of resilient individual is for you to be emotionally regulated. So emotional regulation is a characteristic of resilient individuals. So you should be able to get a hold of yourself when it comes to emotional states of mind, when you're having one challenge or the other. Then secondly, optimism. What do I mean by optimism? In every day of our life, we should be optimistic. Some people, even before they start a journey, they already lose out. When I was in school, I was part of some student union stuff like that now. So we believe that if you don't push through and then you are not optimistic, you are already being defeated, even before you take on the struggle. All right? So before you embark on a goal, before you embark on a journey, be optimistic that that journey is leading to a particular goal that you are set to achieve, and you are going to achieve it. So once your mind is set, once you are optimistic that this thing is going to be positive, then you are appearing to be a resilient individual. So we must be optimistic. Another key characteristics is problem-solving skills. And apologies if I want to say that this is this is a key characteristic that a lot of age group or age bracket individuals do not have these days. Why? Because they don't want to even encounter problem. Not to now talk of the fact that they want to provide solution to the problem. Nobody wants problem anyways, but it is inevitable. It must come either in school, either in life, either in your career, either in your place of work. Challenges will come. We don't just call it problem. But for the sake of this webinar, that was how I actually impute problem. We call it concern or we call it challenges. So it will come. Expect it. So now you now have to be able to plan ahead. What if I encounter this particular challenge on the way? What would be my possible skill or what would be my possible solution to it? So we should be able to develop that mindset to develop a skill that has to do with problem solving. So another key characteristic on this slide is strong sense of purpose. Why are you embarking on that journey? What do you want to achieve? What's the purpose of that journey? So if you have strong sense of purpose, I don't think anything at all, any challenge at all will be able to defeat you on the way. Next slide, please. Okay, thank you. So let us look at understanding mental well-being. Just as a recap, don't forget that we just discussed about the introduction of the characteristics of people who are resilient. So understanding mental well-being now, aside from even going with the definition, last week I was making a presentation on mental health, and we're able to fix out some things. We're able to point out some things why people are having issues with their mental health. So issues with mental health comes from different angles. Even the rich, like they say, also cry. So what makes the rich cry? It is a lot of things that they go through. So looking at them, you think they are all right. But in-depthly and inwardly, in the corner of their room, they have a lot of things they battle with. So if the rich could, battle with a lot of things, how much more we that we are just growing, that we have not even, risen to any level. So our mental health is always usually very important. You face challenges every day that want to fight your mental health. But ability to be able to stay strong is what makes you balance when it comes to mental health. So understanding mental well-being now. So if you are talking of mental well-being, we mean a state of mental health where individuals cope with daily stress, work productivity, and contribute to their community or workplace success. That's the state of a balanced state of mental health. Of course, we have people with mental health that is not balanced. So that's where you now see people saying that I can't stay in this toxic environment if I must be mentally balanced. So some people do not have their mental health balanced because of one or two stress, because of one or two challenges, because of one or two toxicity, so to say. So a state of mental health where individuals can cope with daily stress that can also make them work productively and can also make them contribute to their community or workplace success. That's the meaning of mental well-being. And if we have to go further, we might want to look at the components of mental well-being. So I have been able to highlight 3 components here. And the first is emotional well-being. The second is psychological well-being. And the third is social well-being. So all these components makes your mental well-being a balanced one. Please, let's look at the next slide. Next slide, please. So I'm very sorry if I have to rush up because I'm trying to consider time here. So let us see. Understanding academic pressure, 1. So if I may ask from students in the house, we need the next 1 minute. if you are talking of academic pressure, what do we mean in your own language? Anybody? Oluwanifemi, you can help. Mohammed, you can help.
Hello. Hello.
Yes, please.
My name is Mustafa Saliu. Academic pressure is the pressure we encounter in academy, like stresses like this, or due to pressure of due to pressure of academic like this.
All right. Thank you. I don't know your name, but thank you, Mohammed. What I'm seeing on my screen. So you have done justice to that. What we have on our screen, academic pressure refers to the stress and anxiety students feel when they are expected to perform well in their studies. Of course, we can also look at it that it can be a state of stress or anxiety that students feel due to the demands of schoolwork. Of course, we know that, like I said during my introduction, I said academic pressure is real. There is in the journey of academics, there is this academic is more demanding and present. So a lot of things will come to play, and all of these things we put together, and we meet demands of schoolwork. So academic pressure is the stress that you face, the anxiety that you have within you as a student that make you feel that, oh, this thing might probably not be possible, or this thing might probably be possible, or achieving my academic goal. These are the challenges, and I am facing it. So academic pressure is the stress or anxiety that you feel as a student, as a school person, due to the demands of that academic journey that you are into. So if you now talk of the demands of your schoolwork or the demand of your academic journey that you are into, what do we mean? Something like exams. There are some people that when exam is coming, there's something we call exam fever. Of course, it is just a natural thing to them. So when we have a case like this, we don't blame them. We know that it is real, and then we know that a lot of people, a lot of students nowadays are suffering from these things based on one reason or the other that we might not be able to want to open up here. So some have exam phobia, like I said. So exam can pose a kind of academic pressure. Yes, that's one. Two, grades. Maybe you have had a carryover sometimes ago and you are receiving for that course. And of course, when we were in school, we had issues like this. We have carryover, we sit to write the course again. And when the exam came again, it was even tougher than the one we had earlier that we failed. And then we just tried our best. And when we try our best, we submit and when result comes out, of course, you will find it a bit difficult. You find it a bit challenging to want to go and check that result because you cannot even determine what grade would actually come. At that point, when we were in school, at that point, we just pray, oh God, just give me Oriyomi. Oriyomi means let my people go. Let me just, even if it is the last grade, let me just get and go. So people have pressure with grades. People also have pressures with expectations. Thank you. So people also have pressure with expectations, maybe from parents, or maybe from lecturers, or maybe from teachers, or even from peers. Of course, in our own days, right, we have pressure from our parents. So when we now have issues like this in this day, we try to advise, to give parents professional advice, not to mount too much pressure on these children. You know what? I don't want to go into this in-depthly. The way children of nowadays are wired, they are wired in a way that they don't want pressure at all. They are wired in a way that they just want to find everything easy. They are wired in a way that if you put more pressure to them, they see it at the end of the road for them. They see it as you want to take life out of them. So before they allow you to take life out of them, they would prefer to take life out of themselves. So we've had cases like this, and we've come to conclude and agree that the parents should provide soft landing for their children when it comes to academics. They are facing a lot, and we know. So our expectations should not be too high as parents. So coming back to you now, for the sake of this webinar, so we know that one of our academic pressure is expectation from our parents, yes, but at the same time, we should live within our means. Try your best, try every means possible, make yourself elastic enough to want to get the best of yourself probably during exams, grades, and all of that, to meet and probably surpass the expectation of parents or even people who are around you. And for the sake of this webinar, of course, the sponsor probably of the beneficiaries is this General Ibrahim Attahiru Foundation. Of course, anybody that is spending or expending a time on you will expect feedback. They will expect a lot of things from you. In fact, they will expect success. So if I will be speaking on behalf of General Ibrahim Attahiru Foundation, I will say that to all our beneficiaries, we expect feedback, positive feedback from you based on this scholarship. So, but even at that, we just have to do our best and leave the rest. So academic pressure, like I said, just to recap, is the stress or anxiety that you face due to the demands of schoolwork, your exam, maybe your grades, and maybe your expectation from parents, teachers, or even peers. Yes, their pressure, the academic pressure is coming from their peers. My friend is doing this, I should be able to meet up. So if you do not now meet up, you see yourself as somebody that that probably might not be able to make it like others are making it. So that hello, can anyone hear me?
Yes, we can hear you now.
Yes, I can hear you now.
All right. Okay, apologies.
Very
I have a network glitch. Just continue.
Very
Next slide, please. All right, thank you. So let us look at understanding academic pressure too. Don't forget that the first one was understanding academic pressure one, where we have to define academic pressure. So here we are going to look at different sources of academic pressure. And of course, in the last slide, I think I have been able to mention some sources of academic pressure to be kind of maybe exams, grades, expectation from parents, expectation from teachers, lecturers, sponsors, and all of that, and even peers. So let us look at these sources of academic, more sources of academic. So we can categorize this academic pressure into two. All right. So we have the external sources, and then we have the internal sources. So the one categorized as external sources are the ones coming from outside to hit us. The one that we have as internal sources are the ones that we go through within us. So let's now take it one by one. I would love to take the external sources first. But of course, I've mentioned these parental expectations. So, like I said earlier, parents who are spending on their children have some kind of expectations from them. And if you are being sent to school or you are a beneficiary of any empowerment or any scholarship, of course, those who have sponsored you, we have some expectation from you. And I'm very sure that most of the expectation they will expect from you is for you to be successful in the journey at which they have put one or two finances together to sponsor you. So one of the external sources is parental expectations. The other is competitive environment peer pressure. So when you are in an environment where you have peers competing with you, or you are even competing with other peers, it's a pressure already. So another one is financial concerns. In fact, this has posed a lot of pressure on a lot of students these days. And you who are beneficiary of this General Ibrahim Attahiru Foundation, you are lucky enough. Let me put it that way. In our own days, we hardly have a foundation or an organization that will sponsor us like this. If you care to know, when I was in school, I struggled all through school. I sponsored myself, so be it. Both NC, there was no sponsor, but we just have to push through. That is where resilience comes in. All right. So financial concern is an external sources that eats students of nowadays the most. So we also have perfectionism and fear of failure. Forget that you want to be perfect. You cannot be perfect. But a lot of people want to be perfect. They fear. They don't want to fail. And let me just do everything pristine. I want this to be said. I want this to be said. I want this to be said. I don't want to fail. I don't want to be. So it's an external cause that will put pressure on you. What do I do at a particular time? You don't know. You just want to put everything together to ensure that you want to put everything together to ensure that there's no failure. And at the end of the day, some people will say jack of all trades, master of none. If you don't define your part and you just want to bring everything together, failure is imminent at that point. So lastly, under the external source is high self-expectations. Maybe you give yourself too much expectations. Okay, in the next 2 years, I want to be this, I want to be this, I want to be this, I want to be this. And in 2 years now comes, you are not even one, not to talk of the 5 or 6 that you have highlighted. So what do you do at that point? So all these things pose an external pose as external sources of academic pressure. So let me quickly run through the internal sources. The internal sources is 1, perfectionism. You want to be perfect. What do I do? I want to be this. I don't want to be this. 3 o'clock, I want to be this. 4 o'clock, I want to be this. You want to be perfect. And you want to do everything in a way that will make you perfect. Meanwhile, nobody is perfect. You just have to do your best and do the rest. So perfectionism, the mindset of being perfect, is posing an internal source of academic pressure to us. Then another internal source is fear of failure. So to me, nobody wants to fail. But you know what I have built over time? Some people on this platform, in this webinar, they understand who Samuel is. I have built this resilience over time that I've been able to configure myself that I expect, I aim for the best and I expect the worst. So if you aim for the best, you work towards the best. But if the best did not come and the worst come, since you're already probably expecting the worst to come, so if the worst comes, you will have shock absorber to do what? To want to face it head on. So fear of failure is another thing. So high self-expectation. Okay, I just discussed about high self-expectations. Internal sources like perfectionism, I've discussed that. Fear of failure, high self-expectations. I think I'm sorry. So this was a double entry. So we have perfectionism, we have fear of failure. People don't want to fail, and then we have high self-expectation. You are giving yourself more than what you can achieve when it comes to self-expectations. So you should be able to balance in a way that, okay, if what I expect comes, fine. If it doesn't come, then there must be a reason. So I may want to check back and see what are the possible causes, and I want to work in that way. So by the time you understand this, you probably would not want to be able to admit academic pressure. Let me put it that way. Next slide, please. Next slide, please. So let us quickly look at effects of academic pressure on your mental well-being. So we've been able to discuss mental well-being. We've been able to discuss academic pressure. Now, this is where we are going. We are bringing together now academic pressure on your mental well-being. What's the effect? You have academic pressure, of course. We have seen academic pressure and what it is. We have seen that academic pressure is your stress, the anxiety that you feel, the demand of schoolwork, expectations from people and all of that. That's academic pressure. Your mental well-being, ability to push through, to give back to society at all costs, regardless of the environment, mental well-being. So now, putting the two together. Now, so let us look at the emotional part of it, the effect of academic pressure on your mental health. So, one, let's look at the emotional part of it. The emotional part of it is anxiety. You are always anxious. I want to have a good grade. I don't want to fail. I don't have failure. Especially when you are in 400 level. That you know that any slight mistake like this gets you off and gives you extra year. Or makes you want to come back the following year. There's a term that we use in my school, I've forgotten. So anxiety is there. And you want to do everything humanly possible to ensure that everything is put in place. And you put too much anxiety on yourself. That's one. Secondly, depression. Depression is real, I tell people. In fact, regardless of age now, people are getting depressed. I think 3 weeks ago, we had an issue. We had a case, let me put it that way, where we have a JS2 child, a JS2 student, put that way, that was depressed. And then when you ask her, you will discover that she actually has points. She actually has a reason to be depressed. But now, people will now want to ask, why should a JS2 student be depressed? What is she facing? Does she have issues? Of course they do. So depression is an effect of academic pressure on your mental well-being. And we can also have burnout. So with burnout, right, you mean that when you are too overwhelmed, you don't care about yourself, you just want to get a lot of things done, this come, you want to take it, that one come, you want to take it, you take everything that comes. You will burn out. There will be a case of burnout. You will be burnt out. And before you know it, sorry, Mr. Luqman, your hand is raised.
Oh, yes. Thank you very much. And sorry for telling you to stop. Just that I would like to quickly make a very important announcement. We recognize the fact that the theme for today's webinar is of utmost importance. And for that reason, we do not wish to rush our esteemed speaker. We want to ensure it delivers a comprehensive and impactful presentation. So it is on that note that I want to kindly request our dear participants to please check the chat box and click on the provided link to continue with the webinar seamlessly. So this is just like a transition, which we are going to now continue the webinar in a very seamless manner. So kindly check the chat box. So click on the link there, then we continue the webinar accordingly. Thank you very much.
Thank you. May I also request that the link be put on the scholars WhatsApp platform?
We have done that. We have done that, sir. We've done that. It's on their WhatsApp platform.
All right. Thank you, Mr.
In case some persons have been locked out and they are not able to access the chat box.
We've done that. We've done that. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Luqman, for that initiative. And I think I can see the chairman or founder of my organization. That's East Jill Africa. So thank you so much. I didn't even know you are part of this webinar. You are welcome, sir. So okay, so we are on the effect of academic pressure on your mental health, and we have been able to categorize some under emotional. So and the emotional effect we have the anxiety, we have depression, and then we have burnout. So and we also have the physical effects. What do you think can be the physical effect? We have the emotional effect. Now we want to go to the physical effects. And when we are talking of physical effects, one of the physical effects is academic consequences. So when you have too much academic pressure, what's the result on your mental well-being? So we have the physical effects, academic consequence. We also have sleep disorder. When you have a lot of things going through you, of course, people who have been in that shoes before, we know. If you have a lot of things going through you, sleep will not even come. Let you know, even if you use a whole lot of medications and all of that, the sleep will still not come if you have a lot of things going through you. So another physical effect is poor concentration. So when you are pressured, of course, there will be no concentration. It's not only peculiar to academics, even in physical world, even in corporate world, even in career world. If you are too pressured, if the pressure is too much, you will lack concentration. Take it out. So another one is fatigue or headaches. Another one is fatigue or headache. Of course, there will be a lot of a lot of headache, fatigue, a lot of things that would probably weigh you down health-wisely. So all these are effects of academic pressure on your mental health. So just to tell you that academic pressure has effect on your mental well-being, and the effect can be subdivided into two. You can have emotional effect. You can also have physical effect.
Mr. Samuel?
Yes, please.
I'm checking our participant now. I think majority of us have migrated to the new link, and I humbly request you do same so that people will not miss any part of the presentation. So I'll just continue.
All right, that's fine. Thank you. All right, so welcome back and thank you for having me again. Mr. Luqman, please confirm I can go ahead.
Please kindly leave the previous meeting.
Okay. Okay, so that has been done. Thank you. All right, so please confirm I can go ahead.
Yes, you can. You can go ahead.
Hello? All right, thank you. So where we stopped from the last link was we're treating the effect of academic pressure on mental well-being. Then we've been able to categorize this academic pressure on our mental well-being in two ways. The first is emotional effect, and the second is physical effect. And under the emotional effect, we have anxiety, we have depression, and we have burnout. That's the emotional effect of academic pressure on our well-being. And then when we talk of physical effect of academic pressure on our well-being, we're talking of academic consequences, we are talking of sleep disorders, we are talking of poor concentration, we are talking of fatigue, headaches, and we are also talking of reduced academic performance. So let's have the next slide, please. All right, thank you. So effects on academic pressure on mental well-being, as we have categorized, let's look at the academic effects. Of course, we have poor concentration in academics. When you are too pressured, the effect on your well-being is poor concentration. That's one. We will also have reduced academic performance. Of course, if we have too much pressure and we are having poor concentration, what do you expect in academics? If you cannot concentrate, then you actually expect that your academic performance will reduce. So the effect is categorized academic effect, and under the academic effect is that you lose concentration, or you have a very poor concentration or reduced concentration, as the case may be. So when you have a reduced concentration, so the consequence of that is that your academic performance will definitely reduce. That's one. So the physical effect is sleep disorders and fatigue and headache. So if you are too pressured, so the physical effect is that you might not have this you might be finding it difficult and challenging to sleep. So that might probably lead to sleep disorder. And then if you cannot have a sound sleep, what do you expect? Of course, you will develop what we call fatigue or develop headache, as the case may be. So, and another category is emotional effect. So if we are under the emotional effect, we have anxiety. Of course, academic pressure on your mental well-being will come with anxiety. Also, we also have depression. That's why we see a lot of people depressed, doing all manners of things out there now. So you have people committing suicide when they cannot own up to challenges and all of that. We also have burnout because you will do more than yourself. You will pressure yourself beyond your limit, and before you know it, burnout comes in. Next slide, please. Okay, now let us look at the strategies for building resilience. So before I take up this, so please, I would want 2, 3, or 4 people, 4 participants here to, apart from these strategies for building resilience, what other strategies do you think you can bring up to build resilience? What strategy do you think you can add to the ones that have been highlighted here in a way of building our resilience? So, we're just looking at the first one. The first strategies for building resilience is 1, develop a growth mindset. That's where I'm going. Develop a growth mindset. Either you are in school, you are in public place, you are at work, in your career life, in your academic journey, develop a growth mindset. Know that this journey I am on is for my greatness. This journey I am on is for me to be okay. This journey I am on, of course, I'm actually eyeing towards a particular goal and I will get it. So develop a growth mindset. So in a way, you have to view challenges as opportunities for learning. Like I do tell people, when you have challenges, you face it, and maybe God now help you to be able to overcome that challenge. It has formed part of your experience. You have learned from that angle. So if you have somebody around you facing similar things, you can be able to say, okay, come and share. You can share from your own experience and make them stand strong. So we should not see challenge as a stumbling block to our growth. We should rather view challenges as an opportunity for us to grow. And we should also view it as an opportunity for us to learn. And you agree with me that it is not everybody that learns from challenges, and it is not challenges that people learn. But whatever challenge that comes your way, hold it as part of your learning process. That is 1. 2, let us try and cultivate what we call self-awareness. Cultivate what we call self-awareness. So when you're talking of self-awareness, you need to understand something that triggers your what is it called? How do I put it now? Okay, something that triggers that might want to limit you to achieving resilience. You have to understand what triggers that, and you want to understand your reactions. So if you have a trigger that you have been able to identify, then how do you react to these triggers is another question. So there are 2 things in one here. Understanding your triggers. Try and check what has been my triggers. So if you are able to identify your triggers, then you want to also be able to check your reactions to these triggers. So if you have triggers and you are able to identify reactions to these triggers, and probably this reaction has not been favorable to you building resilience, you might want to change that. All right, so that is for cultivating self-awareness. Understand yourself. Understand things that triggers you. Understand the reactions to your trigger. Now, try and check what has been the result over time. So if the result has been negative, I mean, you might want to change reactions, or you might want to even change system. You might want to look into your triggers and avoid it, for you to be able to build your resilience. Another strategy that can build your resilience with is practice emotional regulation. That one is very, very important. Anywhere in the world, it's very, very important. At your place, at school, at everything. If you don't have emotional control, it's one thing for you to get to a position, is another thing for you to maintain that position. So one thing that will make you maintain that position is your emotional understanding, your emotional regulation, your emotional awareness. So you have to be able to understand your emotions and to work towards regulating your emotions. So what are the techniques? You have to see sometimes when you are overwhelmed, sometimes when you have a whole lot of challenges, coming to you back and forth. At that point, instead of you taking any reaction out, I think you have to take a deep breath and probably walk away for some time. So this is a practical guide that we have given to people, and we've gotten positive feedback from people as well. So as a professional, we suggest to people, we advise people that when you are faced with a lot of things at that point, leave the environment first. Instead of, these are triggers, like I have said, these are triggers. So if you want to cultivate this self-awareness, you have seen triggers. So how do you react to it is here in this practicing emotional regulation. So your triggers can be your environment, it can be toxic people around you and all of that. They might have thrown a lot of things to you. And instead of you just reacting in a way that, sometimes when you react, people don't forget. But you have reacted to a trigger. All right? And when that situation is over, you believe that you keep going, everybody forget, but people don't forget. So that is why you have to be sensitive enough. You have to be brilliant enough in a way of regulating your emotion. So one thing that helps is taking deep breath. Instead of you speaking out immediately, take the breath. Take probably 5 minutes, keeping quiet, taking 5 minutes, to be silent. And I'm very sure it's a practice. It is what is working for people. And I'm very sure that in the next 5 minutes, you will be calm enough, to bring out the real present in you and probably face the situation head on. So if after 5 minutes, we call it 5-minute practice, actually, 5 minute practice. So if after 5 minutes you are not calm or the situation still remains the same, then walk around for 5 minutes and leave that environment and go to somewhere, just walk around. Sometimes things we see when we are overwhelmed help us a lot. So you can go around, just walk around, see different things, leave that environment and all of that. Before you do all this now, it's helping you to regulate your emotions. So another technique is journaling. So what do you mean by journaling? Taking notes. So instead of you speaking out, you might want to make some points. All right. So there are some people that when they are reacting to issues, they don't mean it that way. But because of the issue on ground at that point, because of how you feel, you want to react, you want to talk, you want people to know that I'm not okay with this, I'm not cool with this. You just want to express yourself. But people won't take it as if you are expressing yourself. They take it as if, oh, this person is being rude. Oh, this person is being too forward. Oh, this person is this, is that. And they will not forget. So if you know that you are taking deep breaths, it's not working, and you want to work out, but it's not possible, so that because some people also take it as being rude for working out from them. So if that is not possible, you might want to involve in journaling. Like, you might want to take some points down instead of you speaking. Just note your points down. So when you are calm, you might want to go through your points one after the other. Then, last but not the least, on practicing emotional regulation, you have to be mindful. Be mindful of your environment. Be mindful of people around you. Be mindful of the kind of people you relate with. Be mindful of what you say. Be mindful of your reaction. All right. So if mindfulness is your watchword, I think all other things will come to play. So another one is seeking social support. Yeah. So if you want to build resilience, please engage with people. Engage with not just friends who will also help you in building resilience. Not just any friend, mentors. Not just mentors. You can also meet a counselor. That's why counselors are there for you. We sometimes I used to tell you that we leave our own body to take up the burdens of others. Anybody can be a counselor, but it takes a professional person to be a professional counselor, and it takes a professional counselor to be able to attend to your case therapeutically. So I used to tell people, meet a trained and a certified counselor if you are too overwhelmed. So if you want to build your resilience, engaging with friends, having contact with mentors, having good mentors, and having a professionally trained and certified counselors who will probably help you through. All right. So the last on this slide is let us set a realistic goal. All right. Set a realistic goal. When we're in school, they will say set smart goal. SMART. It should be realistic. It should be smart. It should be, definition of. SMART is an acronym of some words. Anyway, so I don't want to go into that. So, but let us set goals that are realistic. Break tasks into manageable steps. Sometimes when I was in an interview session with ESG, before I joined ESG, so in that interview, they now asked me, how do you manage stress? How do you manage workload? How do you manage two more tasks at the same time when you are supposed to turn it? And I told them, I said, I break my tasks into manageable steps. How? There are some tasks that are important but are not urgent. There are some tasks that are urgent but are not important. There are some that are not even important. They are not even urgent. So at that point, you now build a pyramid, of tasks. Which one should come first? Which one is top urgent? Which one is urgent? Which one is less urgent? So you should be able to. So when you are building that, you break it into pieces. So that you know which one to take at a particular time, so that you don't get overwhelmed. And that's the problem. That's the challenge most people are having now. They just want to, because of the goals they have set, they just want to bring everything to play. And before you know it, they collapse on the way. So let us begin at this point, be setting goals that are realistic. So in setting goals that are realistic, you have to be able to break your tasks, pieces it, break it down into a manageable steps that you can be able to say, okay, I achieved this at this particular time, I achieved this at this stipulated time, and all of that. Somebody like me, if I have 10, 12 clients to attend to, I want to see how important or how serious their cases are. If it is a case that can wait, I pen it down. If it's a case that cannot wait, I put it forward. I make my daily to-do list in order of urgency and importance. You might want to do that. So let's look at this. Next slide, please. All right. So let us look at breaking the stigma around mental health. Of course, there are stigmas around mental health, especially in the world that we have today, that people stigmatizes a lot of things now. So when we talk of breaking the stigma, we are breaking the stigma surrounding mental health is critical. It's very, very critical, and now is a call of concern in this new day, because you don't even know who to trust. You don't know who to talk to. You don't know who to relate with, and that is why I'm very sorry to say that is why it is good to have a trained counselor to talk to. All right. So trained counselors are built in how do I put it now? They are built in strong confidentiality. All right. They will not use it to mock you because they have seen a lot. So they can attend to you and you can be at peace. So it's a critical thing now that calls for open discussion. All right. And we have engaged people. When it comes to this stigma around mental, I have personally met people, and I think I have heard from them a lot of things about stigma that surrounds mental health. So, but if you want to break the stigma around mental health, right, we mean challenging the negative belief. So to say, let me come again. Breaking the stigma around mental health means challenging the negative belief, negative stereotypes, shame, that surrounds mental health issues. I'm having issues. I don't know how to speak out. I don't want to speak out because I don't know how this person will feel about me. I don't know, even if I've probably told a friend called Yomi, it is possible that Yomi even probably relate to Joshua and say, Adisha, come and see what our friend is facing. He just finished calling and telling me this, and so I might not be safe. So that's why people are not speaking out. So let us see. So breaking the stigma that surrounds mental health involves encouraging open conversations. please, if we want to break the stigma around mental health, we have to, to encourage open conversations. Speak out. Speak out. Let people know exactly. But if you want to speak out to people who are professionals, people who understand, who will put in understanding, not people who go around and share bad feelings about you. So we need to encourage conversations about mental well-being. We must break the stigma around mental health. That is one. Two, we have to be able to educate people, just like we are doing now. Of course, everybody is learning. We are educating you to what? Let's educate people. Educating people to understand that mental health is probably can come in form of a strength, and it can also come in form of illness or weakness. So educating people to understand that mental wealth or mental illness is just like physical illness. It is real and it is treatable. It is not the end of the road. It is not the end of life. It is not something worth you committing suicide, taking your life. It is not something worth you becoming a drunkard because of a challenge. All right. So let us educate people that to understand that mental health or mental illness is just like physical illness. It's just like a kind of treatable, probably treatable challenge like maybe malaria or something. It's treatable and it's real. That's just it. Mental illness is real. So, but it is also treatable. Let's have that understanding. Another one is let us try and promote empathy. All right. If we must break the stigma around mental health, we must try and promote empathy. So, in promoting empathy, we must support rather than judge. All right. So, if you don't want to be judged, do not judge people. All right. So, this still brings me back to the fact that you need somebody who understands, who understands all these things we are talking about, like a professional counselor, like a professional mentor that can speak to you, that can understand your plight. All right. That will not even judge you. Of course, that's why I say counselors we don't judge, because we know that those things are real. But if you are not facing it, you might not have the confidence to come up, but it's eating you up, and that's why you have to speak to somebody. All right. So we expect that we should be able to promote empathy. We should also not judge. All right. So the next one is that we should normalize seeking help. I have said it. Seek help. Breaking stigma around mental health involves you seeking help. Please seek help. Depression is real, like I have said earlier, and it's everywhere, even on social media. Depression is very real. And last but not the least on this slide, we have to be able to use respectful language. All right. Okay, so we will be able to respect language and avoid some words that we use. There are some words that are killing, actually. There are some words that are killing. When I have issues, I come to you to say, oh, I have issues. I have this bad dream. I have this, I have that. Anytime I sit down, I do this, I see this. And people will now tell you that this one is crazy now. This is madness. Or no. So we should be able to use respectful word or respectful language and to avoid labeling people like they are crazy, they are weak, and all of that. Please, next slide. I'm trying to rush up because of our time so that we can take questioning. So let us also look at strategies for enhancing mental health. First thing, what are the strategies to enhance your mental well-being? The first one is manage your time well, time management. Use planner. I have said it. Prioritize your task. Have a to-do list, daily to-do list. Itemize them in order of importance, the order at which you want to achieve them. If I get to the office, before I even get to the office, I have a plan of what I want to do for the day. All right. So once I'm able to meet all the tasks for the day, I'm fulfilled. If I cannot meet it, at least I want to meet up with 70%. Of course, work no dey finish, everybody know. But you just have to be able to do your best. Ensure that at least you achieve maybe 70 or 80%. It's not compulsory you achieve anything. So the rest, while going through the rest, you can roll over to the next day. Of course, it will be the first on the list of your to-do list for the next day. So you don't have to choke yourself. Manage your time well. Use your planner. Prioritize your tasks. Use your calendar. On this task, I want to spend 20 minutes. On this task, I want to spend 30 minutes. Work towards it. See if it works for you. Time management. Strategy for enhancing your mental health. 2, healthy lifestyle choices. The kind of food you eat. Well, the nutritionist can be able to come up with, okay, what kind of food will I eat to enhance my mental well-being? Of course, you might want to check the nutrition part of it for that. So, and aside that, healthy life choices like exercise. Sometimes to have a balanced mental health or to have a balanced mental well-being, exercise sometimes helps. During the exercise, you will agree with me, those of you who get involved in exercises very well, you will agree with me that at that point when you are exercising, everything, every thought, all right, disappears at that time. So you might want to, if you have not been doing that, if you have not been involved in that, you might want to try and see if it works for you. All right. So it's still one of the strategies for enhancing mental well-being. Do exercise, jog around, walk around, run around, do some jumping jack and all of that. Of course, you understand what I mean now, the Gen Z's. Jumping jack, all those exercises. So you might want to involve in any. Then cultivate sleeping habits. Work on your sleeping hygiene. I think for adults, should, I think on a daily basis, adults should have a minimum sleeping time or minimum sleeping hour of 8 hours. All right. Yes, 6 to 8 hours. While for children, it's between 9 to 10 hours. So even if you cannot meet up with 8 hours, at least 6 hours, ensure that you sleep. See, work no dey finish. Aspirations no dey finish. I want to be like this, they finish. They finish. So the ones you can achieve them. Sleep well. When you have a balanced head, you can pursue goals. All right. So sleeping hygiene is very, very important. So another one is mindfulness and relaxation techniques. Build that within yourself. I have said it earlier. Be mindful of what you do and of what you say, the environment you are, people you relate with, and all of that. Be mindful. All right. Then develop this relaxation habit. All right. Feel relaxed. Sometimes look at yourself like, this thing is stressing me. Let me put it aside and just relax for some minutes before I go back. All right. So some of the techniques we can use is meditation. We can also use guided imagery. All right. If you are having challenge with the concept, you might want to use image to enhance your studies. So another technique is you might want to use breathing exercise. I've said it the other time. Breathe in, breathe out, breathe deeply before you embark on the next step. All right. So if all of these things are not working, if all of these strategies are not working, then you might want to seek professional support.
Please, I would like to quickly interject. I want to kindly request that maybe we'll round up very soon, in the next couple of few minutes, so that we'll give the scholars enough time to ask questions and hear from them. Thank you.
All right, so I will just be rounding up now. So please, let's look at the next slide. All right, personal growth through challenges. 1, let's embrace failure as part of our success. Yes, as part of our success journey. Let us learn from our mistakes and put things right. Let us develop emotional intelligence. Let us manage our emotions and relationships effectively. Of course, let us set personal development goals that are realistic. Let us also have these academic, emotional, and social goals. Celebrate more wins. Don't do like as if all your village people are after you. The little you have been able to achieve, celebrate it. And motivation through acknowledgement of progress. Motivate yourself by acknowledging that you have made progress. Next slide, please. Of course, this should be an activity, all right? This should be an activity, but we probably appreciate that. So thank you so much, everyone, for listening. My name is still Samuel Kolawole, so at this point, I think I want to take some questions.
Wow. Thank you very much. Mr. Samuel. Thank you for such a timely and deeply insightful presentation. We thank you most sincerely. You have shed light on the importance of building resilience, managing academic pressure with practical strategies, and as well prioritizing mental well-being as a foundation for personal growth. I would like to say that your emphasis on self-awareness, optimism, time management, problem-solving skills, and other components such as emotional well-being offered very, very powerful tools for navigating both academic and life challenges. Having said that, we'll now open the floor for questioning. And if you like to ask questions, kindly drop your questions in the chat box, or you can as well raise your hand if you like to speak directly. So the floor is now open for questions and answers. Okay, I think someone have been raising his or her hand, one of the scholars. I think it would be fair that we allow the person to speak first. Ingara Williams, you've been raising your hand over a couple of minutes ago. So you have the floor to speak.
Hello, good afternoon, sir.
Yes, good afternoon.
Can you hear me, sir?
Yeah, I can hear you. Please go ahead.
Okay, my question is, firstly, when you are just recent, I saw one of my results and my siblings were like, you are more than this, you are not putting out.
Please, you are not audible enough. I want to speak up.
The scholar asking the question is not how this.
Yes, I can hear you. Go ahead.
Okay, I said, like, it happened recently that I saw results in one of the courses I'm doing, and my siblings were like, more than this, you're not supposed to do this without understanding the kind of setting I have. I understand that kind of setting. And then you trying to be resilient now. They are like trying to be, you are being proud, you are disrespectful and like that. So where they take to know that there are factors that led to what like that. What can we do as scholars?
All right, Williams, if I get your question correctly, you have issues with grades in school and people were probably mocking you. So you want to know what strategy to take up in a situation like this. Is that correct?
Yes, sir. Like you are facing pressure from two sides.
All right, thank you. Mr. Luqman, can we take all the questions together so I can answer everything?
Come again, please.
I said, can we take all the questions so that I can provide an answer? I can just respond to one question at a time.
Okay, that's okay. So you mean we can get the next question? Okay. Okay, Zainab, we can go ahead and speak. Zainab Abubakar Sadiq. Okay, someone has dropped a question on the chat box. Let me read that. Okay, we would like to hear your insight about students that lack determination and resilience to study, and students that have the mentality that it is impossible for them to reach the standard of others. Mr. Samuel, have you gotten that? Am I talking to myself? Mr. Samuel, are you there?
Oh, sorry, I didn't know I was muted. Okay, I got that question.
Okay.
I got that question.
So we'll take another one.
Yes, that's from Mohammed. Yes.
Zainab Abubakar Sadiq, you are raising up your hand. Kindly unmute yourself and speak. Zainab, are you there?
Yes, I'm there, sir. Good afternoon, sir.
Yeah, good afternoon. Come up with your question. Zainab, you may speak, please. You are muted. You are muted, Zainab.
Hello? Can you hear me, sir?
Yeah.
Yes, we can hear you.
Yeah, audible now. Speak up, please. I guess Zainab is having some network glitch at her hand. Okay, any other question from anyone? Okay, there's another one from Oluwanifemi Olopade. I would like to clarify proactivity and rash acting.
All right.
Hello, sir?
Can I?
Okay, Zainab, are you back?
Yes, sir. Can you hear me, sir?
Yeah,
Yes,
we can hear you.
Yes, so my question is, I want to be clarified on, hello?
Yes, go ahead.
Yes, I want to be clarified on proactivity, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay, another question is from, okay, I think I've gotten that.
Okay.
Your insight about some tips to get immune to peer group pressure and mass judgment from your students.
Come again, please.
This is coming from Muhammad Shehu. He's asking that they would like to hear your insight about some tips to get immune to peer group pressure and mass judgment from your students, from your few students. Okay, I think it has refined it from your fellow student.
Okay.
Tips to get immune to peer pressure and mass judgment from your fellow students. Musa Ibrahim, you are raising up your hand.
Yes, sir.
You may speak.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
I normally have an issue. I normally did perform well in class. You understand?
Okay.
But when it comes to all this about seminar issues, or I find it difficult to speak in public. So, is there any way I can be advised to overcome that fear? I don't know whether it's fear or something like that. So, is there any way I can be advised to overcome all those?
Okay, no problem. Whenever you want to speak in public, it appears to you as if maybe you are seeing spirit, so you get scared of speaking in public.
Yes,
Okay, no problem. That is noted, and we'll do justice to the question.
All right, sir.
Okay. Any other one, so that our presenter can start taking them one after the other? I think, Mr. Samuel, I think we can start. If other people are having other questions, they will definitely come up with it. Okay, Abdul Samad Yakubu, let me take this, from Abdul Samad Yakubu. How can students develop consistent self-motivation and discipline, especially in situations where external encouragement or support is lacking. Mr. Samuel, are you there?
Yes, I'm with you.
Okay. How can students develop consistent self-motivation and discipline, especially in situations where external encouragement or support is lacking? Richard, kindly mute people that have unmuted themselves. They are obstructing the session. So, Mr. Samuel, please, I request that we start doing justice to the questions that have been asked. If other people are having more questions, they will definitely notify us. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Luqman. I think the first question. Sorry, I'm going through my notes down. So the first question was what to do when people mock for bad grades. That was asked by Williams. I don't know if I'm correct. Am I correct, Williams?
Yeah, correct.
Yes, sir, you are, sir.
Okay, so this question comes a lot. So this question comes a lot in any webinar or in any talk that we have. Of course, we have people who want to always make you feel bad when you have probably bad grades, not knowing or not even minding what you have been able to go through or what you have put in place in getting that probably that grade that you have already gotten. So if people mock you for bad grades, there are some things that you personally as a person should put into context. The first thing is for you, let's see if calmness will actually get you out of that situation instead of you to react. You remember I mentioned something like triggers and reaction during my presentation. So them mocking you, talking to you anyhow because of your grade, not minding what you have gone through is a trigger. All right. So how do you now react to the trigger? So the first thing I think that you should do, that I'm giving you as a professional, is what? To stay calm. Do not react. Don't even react. No anger, no abusive language, no harsh words. No, just stay calm. And if it is possible, leave that environment at that time. That is one. Then secondly, you might probably have to talk to someone that can listen to you. All right. So if you can talk to someone that can listen to you, the person might have listening ears. You might have the chance to speak and let the person know what effort you have put through. And of course, we know that sometimes when you put in effort, when you expect positive results, you might probably end up having negative. So the person will understand, all right? So you'll be able to pour out your mind instead of you reacting to the trigger. That's another point. Another point I would want to talk about is, okay, I've told you to talk to someone. So when you have spoken to the person, whatever the person says, either, of course, it will be positive if the person understands you. You have to focus on your growth, all right? Not losing focus, not considering or minding what people around you says. Focus on use the experience that you have from this trigger and the reaction. Use it as your strength. Use it as motivation to improve yourself. All right. So when you have challenges like this, it teaches you a lesson. Pick the lesson there. All right, and put it together to make your strength and push forward to focus on your growth until you have the best grade. And you will agree with me that those who mock you for having a bad grade, when you have a good grade, they will still come back to celebrate you. So I have mentioned three tips, all right? Staying calm, do not react in the face of anger. Okay? So because the reason why I'm telling you not to react anyhow in the face of anger is because their word does not define you. Whatever they say does not define you. That is not who you are. You know who you are, and you are going to just uphold that tenet. All right. So you have to know your words. That is one. Two, you have to talk to somebody who is knowledgeable, somebody who is calm, somebody who is understanding. All right. Then last but not least is for you to focus on your growth. Focus on your growth. Understand what you are in for. Understand where you are going. And understand. Try to understand what you are there to achieve. Okay, I might just want to add that try and remind yourself that a grade does not determine your intelligence. Or I can also say that a grade does not determine your future success. Let me put it that way. A lot of people that we graduated together, 2-1, 2-2 first class. But if you see us in the career market now, you know that it's not about grade. All right. So don't let whatever they say determine who you are. It is you that should focus on your growth and then set boundaries. When you set boundaries, then you have to surround yourself with people who can give you support. I hope I've been able to respond to that question.
Yes, sir. Thanks so much.
All right. So I have the second question from Mohammed. You want an insight on a student that lack determination and resilience to study with what? With impossible mindset. Am I correct, Mohammed? Mohammed, am I correct? Okay. So for students who lack determination and resilience, they struggle a lot. Of course, they struggle with something I can call impossible mindset. They usually have this mindset that this thing is not possible, so why am I stressing myself? They also believe that no matter what they do, they can't succeed. All right. They also have this mindset that the mindset can be a kind of shaped, probably maybe because of what they have experienced in the future. So let us see how we can fix this. All right. We have to fix our growth mindset. That's the first point. If you are noting it, please note, fix your growth mindset. What do I mean by this? You have to have this ability in yourself that you can progress, that you can make it, that you can achieve it. Developing growth mindset. That is one. Encouraging yourself encouraging a growth mindset that helps you step forward for improvement. That's what I mean by growth mindset. Then, you can also want to check your skills or strategy. Maybe you have probably developed a skill and probably that skill is not working, so you have believed that that's the end of the road. I can't even. So this thing is difficult. It's difficult. I don't want to even look at any other. So you might want to check your skills and your strategy. All right. So you might want to also need to reassure yourself that failure is not final. All right. So in motivating yourself, you have to do away with low self-esteem, getting your self-worth. So if some people are believing in themselves that they cannot make it, you see a point of you making it in yourself. So to round this point off, I will let you know that lack of determination is a thing that emanates from an individual. All right, you are not determined. If you are determined, you see things working for you. So please develop that mindset of determination, knowing fully well that you are in to achieve something great in life. All right, do away with external pressure. Do away with fear of failure, and press forward to achieving something great. I don't know if I've been able to answer that question.
Thank you, Mr. Samuel. Additionally, Mr. Samuel, due to what of time, I will request that maybe the questions that we have left, if we can just respond to them maybe in point form, because we have less than 10 minutes to round up the webinar, and we equally want one of the scholars to give a vote of thanks. Then we conclude by giving the closing remarks. Thank you.
All right, that's fine, Mr. Luqman. I think I would probably relate with you that if there is a platform where you can share those points, I can get the point across to you, so that you share them with them, so everybody can see. How about that?
Okay, that's fine. So when you provide answers to all the questions that have been asked, since we have a platform through which we engage with them, I will definitely send the question and answers to them.
All right. Thank you, sir.
Okay. Having said that, I will call on one of the scholars of the foundation, Ngara Faith Williams, a student of medicine and surgery at Benue State University, to give the vote of thanks.
Hello. Can you all hear me?
Go ahead, please.
Good afternoon, everyone. On behalf of the Scholars General Ibrahim Attahiru Foundation, I express our deepest gratitude for the success of today's academic webinar. So our keynote, Mr. Samuel A. Kolawole, thank you so much, sir, for your impactful insights. And to our esteemed moderator and program coordinator of Foundation, Captain Luqman Gidado, and the organizing team, your commitment is deeply appreciated. A heartfelt thanks to the board, management, and staff of General Ibrahim Attahiru Foundation for your unwavering support and continuous investment in our academic journeys. And to my fellow scholars, let us continue to be worthy ambassadors of the foundation, living out its value, striving for excellence, and inspiring others along the way. Thank you all once again. I am Ngara Fetu, a student from the Department of Medicine and Surgery from the prestigious Benue State University, Makurdi. Thank you so much.
Oh, well done, Ngara Faith Williams. I like the fact that you purposed your school, the prestigious Benue State University. Thank you very much. And I will go straight to the last item on the program of events, which is the closing remarks. So I'll start by saying that on behalf of the General Ibrahim Attahiru Foundation, we most sincerely extend our deepest appreciation to our speaker, Mr. Samuel Kolawole, for graciously sharing his knowledge and experience with us today. We trust that this session has offered our dear scholars the valuable tools to navigate academic stress and foster personal growth. At General Ibrahim Attahiru Foundation, we so much cherish our scholars, and we remain deeply passionate about their well-being and academic excellence. Their success matters to us, and we are honored to be part of their journey in life. We therefore encourage all our scholars to stay engaged and other participants through our social media platforms, where we continue to share resources, inspiration, and opportunities for growth. Thank you all for being part of this session. And on behalf of the foundation, once again, I'm wishing you a resilient and fulfilling path ahead. Goodbye for now, and remember, we believe in you. Thank you, everyone.